Welcome to Power Progressors. We have another great networking event for you to be a part of today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all who are joining us for the first time and those who have come back. I believe Bobby was here last time. Welcome again. Good to have you on again. And thanks, Teresa, Wendy, everyone that is here. We have people here from all over the globe, literally, from the US to the UK and all across America. So we appreciate your time. We have some great information today on just really building powerful relationships. And I am, going to start off first and just really discussing how we as a team came together through as an organization through our own, on our own. We were developing, marketing things together as a team and decided to continue to work together and develop the Power Progressors. And each month we'll host different events that will help you to advance your business in different areas. And so this month, we're just dealing with different aspects of really building powerful relationships. And so within that, it's definitely one of the most powerful things that you can do. And I'm going to share my screen briefly. And so with that, oops, I'm sorry. So sorry about that. So with that, I am talking about the greatest investment that you can make and how definitely through your communication with others, it can advance not only your business, but your life. So I didn't introduce myself. I'm Dr. Tonya Fenor. I'm a communications coach, author, speaker, and just sharing a little bit with you today about the greatest investment you can make. And yes, we know stocks and homes and, different things you can invest in, but really people are the greatest investment that you can invest in. And today I want to talk about meeting clients' needs and not yours. A lot of times we know when we go into an environment and people are just trying to sell us on, what they want us to have, but you're like, I don't really need that. So you're just like, okay. And they may convince you that you need it, but it's really not starting with your needs or interests in mind first. And I think that's really where you have to begin. And really where you have to start, of course, knowing your clientele, knowing your audience, but just even in your own relationships, there's a saying that, if you make sure that others have everything they need, you will always have everything you need. And I do believe that's true when you're seeking to meet those needs and really understand, in this case, your client and their specific needs, then it will go much, much farther for you in your business in the long term and really building loyalty and trust within your brand and loyalty within that client relationship. And whether it's your business or on the job, definitely people need to know that you care, about them as an individual. It says people don't care what you know until they know how much you care. And for me as an educator, and even in working and coaching with clients, I definitely care about them, not just in my course, but their success in life overall. And definitely, that's one of the things that they tell me is that, I know that you care about me because I want them to do well in life, not just in my course or not just in my, through my coaching, but really doing all I can to help them. And, for students that might be going out of my way to make sure, especially during this time, we've had a lot of things going on in the world, and just making sure they have what they need. Some of our students have technology needs, or your clients might have technology needs. Just with everything going on, you may not be able to meet in person. They may not feel comfortable, but just making sure you help them to feel comfortable and that you meet their specific needs. And if that might mean adapting how you normally do things, so be it. But it's definitely going to benefit you in the long run. And so, with that, also, even whether it's on your business or on your job, making sure you have time, they have time to have work life balance. I know an example when my father, my father actually passed away with cancer. My mom was working for an international company. Just the value that they have on family and relationships, that they gave her like a week or two with pay, just to take care of herself and just to make sure she had what she needed. And I know if he is going to talk later about teams and building strong teams, but when you just really show people that you care about them as a person, not just you selling or you getting them to support your business, it really goes a long way. And the last example I have, I was talking with someone about doing some coaching last week, and really, we're definitely going to work on doing some communication coaching for her business. She's starting a new business. She's going to go out and meet new clients, and she needs to just work on her communication skills in meeting with those clients. But she had something coming up like this week. And though we're not officially started working on her coaching yet with me paid, definitely I volunteered to, hey, if you need something, you need help, you need me to go over something now, I'm here for you. Just let me know, and I do that with many clients. But it is a matter, yes, you may over deliver, but that is always better. People will always remember you when you give them more than what they expect. And so that's just a few things, I wanted to share with you today on just really making sure you meet the needs of the people that are around you. And then you will always, whether it's your business and clientele, whether it's your family, whether it's your team, it'll definitely reap many benefits for you on your job, and develop long-term relationships and loyalty to your brand, to you, and also for people who are working with you to see that you're a part of something bigger and that you really care, about individuals, makes a difference as well. So just a few things that I was sharing with you today about really making the investment in people. So hopefully that is helpful for you. And we are going to move on to our next accomplished speaker. Chantel Acquart is going to speak on the power of constructive criticism in courageous conversations. Don't you love that alliteration? Okay, so constructive criticism in courageous conversations. She is a life coach. She has studied personal development for over 15 years, is a professional organizer, and teaches others the fundamentals on organization in every aspect of life. Chantel?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. So today's topic is kind of a big one, because if you think about it, constructive criticism, those two words hardly even go together. When you look at the definition of criticism, it's the expression of a disapproval of someone or something that's based on the perceived faults or mistakes of that person. And when you look at the word constructive, it's defined as serving a purpose, a useful purpose, or to build up. And so it's almost not even the same, one and the same, but there is a way to blend the two together, but it does take a lot of in order to do so. No one likes to be put down, to be honest, but it's very helpful if you're able to construct the conversation in a way that the person feels like, it's like the definition says, like you're building them up. So you have to be very careful about what you say before, how you say what it is you're trying to say, and making sure you know where you want that conversation to end. For example, I go in clients' homes, organize their personal spaces, and it's, first of all, an honor that someone even lets you into spaces that sometimes no one else sees. So it takes a lot of courage sometimes to give them critique in a constructive way that can help them overcome the obstacles that keep getting them in their way. or the situations where they, keep hoarding things, and they need to hear, hey, slow down, you might not need to shop that much, or, you might need to get rid of some of great grandma's old tapestry, but just knowing how to say it in a way to not hurt their feelings or put them down is what I find is powerful. I was a school teacher back in the day, and I was offered the position after being a parent that showed up, a parent that volunteered. And so as a teacher, and then, parent, as well as a volunteer in the school, I kind of had a view of all areas of the school, and I would see things that the principal might not have seen. I would see things like the way teachers might not be prepared with the kids, or the way parents might talk about the teacher, or just certain things that I knew was not healthy for a school to thrive. And so I asked to have a conversation with the principal of the school. And she was a very prideful lady. She prided herself on keeping her things in order and her school together. But as a person of integrity, I couldn't feel right about myself knowing that I couldn't have a conversation with her about what I've seen. Doesn't mean I need to mention names, or it didn't mean I need to say instances, but I put together a note of grievances that teachers may have had and parents may have had, and things that I saw going wrong with the students. And I courage to have that courageous conversation with that principal, and so there was things in there, and although I had to voice it away to be constructive, and I had to voice it away to critique versus criticize. And so just understanding that, that was a fine line, but feeling much better when I came out of it. My hope was that things may have changed, but even if it didn't, at least my integrity allowed me to say what was needed to be said, and help however I could, and then kind of move on from that situation. So I hope that helped and made sense to you guys. It's, no one likes to be criticized, but if we can constructively critique them in a courageous way, it can really help to build them up for a greater purpose. So thank you for your time.
Sorry, I forgot to mute. Okay, so next we have Afia Tyler, who is going to definitely share with us more about the team relationship and building powerful leadership within a team. Afia has worked over 25 years in early childhood education and found her voice in how to bring out the best in others. She quickly realized leadership was needed and used it to speak life by motivating other people to be their best self. And so, Afia, definitely share with us more about building powerful teams.
Yes. Look, after Chantel, I feel like I don't have nothing to say because she just got all in my mix. So no, I'm Afia Tyler, like she said. And I just wanted to talk about powerful leadership within a team. So we all know, like in sports, you have the coach and then you have the players, right? So a lot of times people feel like Chantel did. She had to find the courage to talk to someone in that leadership position because they don't always make you feel like welcome to share your opinion or to question them. Being in the field that I'm in, we have meetings and they say, oh, ask questions. This is the time to ask your questions. Ask them now. Yeah, this is the time. You want to do it before we get in the field, right? Then you ask your question and they're like, why are you questioning me? I mean, well, it's put that way for a reason. Well, hey, you said ask the questions. It's the perfect time to do that, right? So there's a lot of times where we deal with leaders that they're not always personable. They have the title, but they don't really have the heart. To be a leader, sometimes for me, I had so many, I was like an associate teacher. I was always under someone. I was a TA. And for a long time, I always had an opinion about something, but it was only because I've seen how I can solve a problem or make it better, right? I wasn't trying to step on their toes. I just really felt like I was a mother. I seen being in the classroom, there was things that could change. And I was like, okay, how do I say this to her? Because I already see the chip on her shoulder, because she's already talking to me like I'm all kinds of crazy, right? Like I'm so beneath her, I shouldn't have an opinion. So it is, you have to use a lot of courage to do that, but sometimes it's in you. When it's in you, you could be a natural born leader and not have a title, not have a position, not have a degree. People, we get so hung up on, well, you know, I went to this prestigious school and I have all these degrees under my belt, and that doesn't always make you a leader. That doesn't make you a leader. So I want to stick to that point. But when you're a leader in a title, people always expect you to just follow them, respect them, and trust them. You don't know them. You've just been placed in a position under them. And so now you're just supposed to jump on the boat and sink with them when they're sinking. No. Again, everyone was not born to lead. But true leaders have more than impressive jobs and titles. They really have the heart. And I just wanted to remind you that if you're a natural born leader, do not hide yourself. Do not stay in the back. Find a way to, like Chantel said, be courageous and not a critic. Because when you're a critic and you always have to have something to say, well, then no one wants to listen to you. It's like, okay, here she comes again, right? You really have to know that you're there to really solve a problem. But please speak up. Know that you have what it takes, no matter what your title is. And always look for ways to improve things. If you see something that needs to be improved, then just find a way to tactfully, you know, share that idea with them. Because like I said, all leaders are not meant to lead. So I was going to say too, Chantel, like she has my mind all messed up, because there's so many situations that I've been in where I'll give you a specific one. So at my job, you know, people start from the bottom and they work their way up, right? Well, then they get to the top and they totally forget where they came from. And I'm like, I remember when you were sitting right here next to me, cleaning these tables, talking to those parents. Like, how did you forget this? But then you get up there and you have all these grandiose ideas, right? It's like, never forget where you came from. No matter how high you get, never forget where you came from. So I know it's twofold. I'm talking about the leader that has a position, but I'm also talking to the person that just has that leadership within them, and like use what you got. Be the leader that you are. That's all I have to say today. Blessings and positivity always.
That is awesome.
Lead.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Afia. We have all been in situations like that. It's definitely useful. And so next, we are going to talk about the mindset of leadership with Paul Cork, who is going to break it down for us on the mindset of building powerful relationships. Paul is an author, speaker, founder of Leadership Architecture, where he helps define leadership for organizations and builds leadership and development strategy. He's the author of 3 books, including the Mindset Journal, and provides inspirational, engaging keynotes, motivation, and talks on leadership. So, Paul, share with us about the mindset for building powerful relationships.
Brilliant, thank you. First thing I will say is just following on the points from a leadership perspective. If you truly want to motivate people, then it's about focusing on their strengths and building their strengths, because when they're focused on the strengths, they're more enthused, excited, and energized. But as I'm talking about mindset when it comes to relationships, I just wanted to tell you a little story first. And the little story goes like this, and you may have heard it. It's about the farmer who has geese, and one particular goose lays a golden egg to a surprise. And what he does is he decides, because the goose laid the golden egg, to take the goose into his house, to take care of it, to look after it. Eventually, there's another golden egg, and he feeds it more, and there's another golden egg. And he feeds it more and more, and eventually the golden eggs come quicker and quicker. But he gets impatient, and he can't wait. Even though he's got so many golden eggs, eventually, he just wants to get as many as he possibly can. He cuts off the goose's head to look inside and find nothing. When it comes to relationships, if your relationships are all about just what you're going to get out of it, then you start with the wrong mindset there. So To talk about developing the right mindset for relationships, it's about having an abundance mindset. It's about where the abundance is of giving, it's of helping other people. There's a famous American football coach, and his name's Lou Holtz, and he talks about relationship building. And he says there's 3 things that you need when you build a relationship. So if you have a relationship with another person, firstly, you should demonstrate that you care. Second, you should demonstrate that you're committed to them as a person, to their objectives, their goals, their dreams, their career, whatever that might be, but show an interest in them. And also, you should demonstrate that you can be trusted. Now, a strong relationship, and you take any relationship, so if I take mine with my wife right now, I would like to think that she thinks that I care, that I'm committed, and that she can trust me too, yeah? So the simple point is, take any relationship in your life right now, more so when it comes to clients and customers and building those new relationships, is that you need to think about how you demonstrate each of those areas, because if you do, that's how you build a strong relationship. Now, another way of building a strong relationship with mindset is having a can-do focus. So can-do focus mindset means that when you new relationship, existing relationship, is that you always focus on what you can do for that other person opposed to what you can't do. A simple example might be, so if I go to a networking event and it might be somebody who's got a recruitment agency, I might not actually be able to help them right now, but rather than focusing on what I can't do, I'd go, well, it's great that we've connected, you know, the relationship going forward, so we can continue to keep in touch. Right now, I might not have anybody in mind that I could put you in touch with, but what I can do in the future, focusing on what I can do, is that if anybody comes up, anybody that I think of, or if I speak to somebody who wants a recruitment agency, I'll put you in touch. So I guess what I'm saying is, by having that can-do focus, as well as focusing on, do you care for people? Are you committed? And can you be trusted? The powerful ways of setting up a mindset for successful relationships in your life. Thank you.
Thank you. That is so crazy. I just watched the Golden Goose story with my 5-year-old the other day. And
hey, I love it.
Teaching him principles on mindset leadership. But no, it's so true. It ended a little differently in the cartoon, but it was definitely the same principle in trying to just get more. And so those are some great lessons to share with us. So we're going to keep it moving. Like I said, this is a global panel from people from all over the world. Paul just came to us from the UK, and Jose Estrada is going to teach us on how to build those global communications in relationships. Jose has been teaching and tutoring Spanish for over 10 years, has knowledgeable Spanish and English as an instructor. He turns what seems impossible into that which is doable and makes it fun and enjoyable. And so, Jose, share with us more about building those global relationships. Jose, are you unmuted?
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. I forgot about that. So as you were saying, this group is an example of global communication, global relationships. And I think that now, more than ever before, our businesses, it doesn't matter what you do, now everything is expanded. It's not basically restricted to our geographical location. Before I teach Spanish, in English and different other, mainly Spanish and English. Before I was limited to my city, to my neighborhood. Now, I don't know what you do. Bobby, tell us a little bit about what you do. Bobby? Oh, he's probably not there. And Teresa or Wendy, tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I am actually also a professional speaker and a coach.
Exactly.
I have been contracting for many years. Some of you may have heard of Fred Pryor seminars. They're the first and one of the largest public seminar companies in North America. Wow. And now I'm interested in breaking out on my own, right?
Fantastic.
So, yes.
How about you, Teresa?
I am in the process of changing careers. I'm a dental hygienist and I own my own business. So I'm Yeah.
And as you can see now, your businesses, whatever you are doing, you can actually expand it and sell it and promote it globally. So now we are not limited to that. So the global communication, the global expansion is not an illusion anymore. It's a reality, and every day you can see Zoom classes taking place, all over. You can yoga classes, you can learn and teach and or speak in so many different platforms nowadays. And I think that the global communication is about being able to effectively communicate with your associates, potential employees, and potential customers too. You cannot show how much you care or how much you are committed, or if they trust you or if they don't, if you are not able to communicate with them. And now I am working with people from South America who are helping me in my business, in growing my business. So communication is the key, and now learning different languages will effectively help you to build that company, to be able to speak in different countries, to be able to organize events in different locations, or even online. And if you are able to effectively communicate with the people who are helping you to create a platform, to promote it, and to your customers, I think that's now something that is priceless, because now the sky is the limit. We can actually promote globally, but we also need to learn the differences in cultures, values, and different aspects of the culture in general. In the UK, one thing might mean one thing, in the United States might mean something else. Same thing with Spanish. I speak Spanish, but in Argentina and Colombia, they have different things. So being able to communicate effectively is really critical. That's why learning a different language is essential. Maybe not only one, but maybe more, but you can actually benefit in so many different ways, because if you are educated and effective communicator in English, doesn't mean that you are going to translate that into other culture or other language. And working towards that will actually make you value twice as much. Your value increase twice as much. So you will be able to effectively sell or communicate or have a business in one language, in another one too. And now Spanish is one of the most spoken languages as well, just like English. In the market, almost in the United States, it doesn't matter where you are, you can actually double your market if you're able to hire other people who speak the language to be able to communicate with them. Just an example. Depending on your area, there might be a different language, but that's the idea. So I encourage you to expand your business, find out about all the opportunities that you have, like if you're a speaker or if you want to promote any kind of business. I think that global communication is here, and it's here to stay. Thank you.
Thank you. Definitely increases your value of your business. And in the technological world we're in, we're able to communicate globally all over the world. So that is definitely a valuable skill to have. And so now we're going to close out with some tools that you can actually use to build your relationships. Susan Thornton is going to share with us about building a powerful relationship toolbox. Susan has a wealth of leadership knowledge and entrepreneurial tools to inspire others and achieve their professional goals. She has had a long career as a nursing professional and development specialist, but has provided leadership and business guidance for healthcare organizations, academic institutions, government organizations, and professional organizations. She is a change agent, a servant leader in her profession, and speaks to inspire other entrepreneurs to achieve personal growth. And so, Susan, share with us some of the tools we need to build relationships.
Well, thank you, Dr. Tonya, and thank you for having me. Of being a part of the Power Progressors. I just love being a part of this group, and feel like, you know, the whole topic of relationships is a big thing. And when we were designing this, we wanted to make sure that we gave you the tools that you need to move forward, and that's part of Power Progressors' mission, is to be powerful and building relationships with others. And so the toolkits that we need all stem from and that relationship. And literally the relationship is a soft skill, okay? But it drives the bottom line in whether or not you're going to make sales, okay? So when you look at things, all success in business is predicted in your ability to build relationships. So that's with the team that you work with, it's with your clients, and it's with within your organization of how we build and structure everything. So Stephen Covey, one of a very known author, says that all success begins with relationships. So anything that we would do does stem from that relationship as you go through. Our emotional intelligence plays a very big role in that. And if you're not aware of emotional intelligence, it's that very important bond that we use to identify, look at, and create feelings and emotions and the thinking behaviors that we integrate completely into how we perceive others and take care of others. So I have three little tools that you can use, and they're probably pretty simple tools, probably things that you already know, but just to refresh your mind exactly what we do with relationship building. So relationship building starts on day zero. It's the very beginning foundation of your client relationship. When you meet somebody, you want to take detailed notes that you can refer back to. So if it's a phone call, you're taking notes on asking them questions as you're going through a process of discussion with them, finding out that they have 3 kids, finding out that they have multiple dogs or cats, or what's involved in them. In that gauging conversation, you want to take notes on these things and store it with that contact in your contact list, okay? That'll help you when you touch back with them, when you do a follow-up call, you pull up the card and you can remind them, hey, how's the dog doing? I remember the last time we chatted, you were having, foot surgery. How'd that go? Those kinds of things you can add into your relationship building and keep that all managed properly. The second tool that you want to do is with any new client contact is that you want to be the first to follow up. Be the first one to get that email out, to make the phone call. If there's a date and time when you said that you're going to contact them back because maybe they need a week to look over the contracts, you'll say, great, I will contact you on Monday about that. So if you hang up the phone, you follow up with an email, and I will contact you on Monday again. And then you set a calendar reminder in your own stuff so that you remember to do that and do the follow-up, because they always say the fortune is in the follow-up in any business activity that you do. And the third caveat that I want to leave you with is finding out your client's communication style. If you can figure out, if you're doing multiple follow-ups with them, trying, and they just don't respond, maybe email is not their method. Maybe the phone is what they need, and you can call them and follow up with them, or maybe texting is their method, or you need to be face-to-face. And I know that's hard today, but scheduling a Zoom meeting might be more beneficial in your follow-up. But figuring out how they communicate and then sticking to that is a very powerful piece of the whole communication style and figuring things out. And the last statement I just want to say is that making sure, some of the biggest things about marketing and tools and relationships is, when we look at marketing, it takes 27 exposures to something before somebody will buy anything. So as you're building your relationship, how do you, every time you work on the building of the relationship, you're building that trust, that alliance, that capabilities to be able to put yourself out there where people will be more exposed to you and think of you before they think of someone else.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And so let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges. And then I encourage you all, if you have questions that you want to ask them about any of the presentations that were given just now. You can type that in the chat, or you can, jump in or raise your hand and let me know you have a question. But as you were just sharing about, following up and making that connection, and Susan, what happens when it's just not a good fit and you're trying to make it work, and it's just you're trying to build a relationship and it's just not working. So what do you do? What do you do then?
Well, frequently we have clients, if you're in a coaching kind of business or a situation where you just can't serve their needs, right? And either you personally are having relationship issues with them, or you don't have what they need, products. And it goes back to that whole servant piece again. You want to let go of things that don't fit what you're trying to do, and establish a referral relationship network of people who could serve those clients' needs. So people you can refer to, other small business owners, other in the group. You want to have a Rolodex of all the different types of people that you do work with that do high quality work, because a lot of business is done on a referral basis. And so that's one of the points of being a part of Power Progressors, is getting more and more of a toolbox of potentials that you could refer to. I think one of my biggest successes in 25 years of being an entrepreneur is everybody goes, call Susan, she knows everybody in my network. And I was like, wow, that's a pretty big compliment, because I probably do have a huge Rolodex I can just go through and give somebody a referral.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Definitely. It's about teamwork makes the dream work. And so you got to have a strong team that you can call on and rely on. And also, Chantel, you mentioned earlier, when having those difficult conversations, and you didn't share how it turned out after you talked to the woman at the school. But what do you do when there are times you need to give constructive criticism and it is not received well by the other person?
Yes, well, it came to be that I was speaking to her in order to become a parent-teacher liaison, so that I could kind of take that load off of her, and she declined it. She had some issues with people in the past not being trustworthy, and so that didn't end up happening. And after that, I moved on. I said, well, I've served to my fullest capacity in this area. I've said all I needed to say. I've had that conversation. So now it's time for me to move on. If it's not well received for me, I just don't take it personally. As long as I've said my part, I understand that relationships are sometimes for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And that may just have been a seasonal one, or it may just be for me to be able to have that courageous conversation as to why I was in there. But then, if you feel that you may have said too much, or you may have hurt feelings, a letter, a card, an email, just something to kind of get you to where you're at peace with stating your case and then moving on from there.
That's good. I literally just talked about seasons in my Monday motivational this Monday. But yes, that sometimes, not everything, or it might be a timing thing. It's just not that season for that for that relationship. So, but awesome. Afia, you kind of shared a little bit with building, great teams in leadership. And what do you think is the most common obstacle to building a strong team and developing the leadership?
Showtime. No, just playing. I think the biggest obstacle in building a team could be pride. It could be fear, because I talked a little bit about how sometimes the leaders don't want to hear from others because they feel they're in that position. So I think pride can be a big part of it, and also not taking the time to build relationships. You can't just, because you're assigned to someone, all of a sudden you're in a relationship. You really have to get to know the person. And I think Jose, Chantel, Susan, everyone has talked about this when building relationships is very important. So I think the minimal part is building that relationship. And once you get that relationship established, then everything else is gone. The fear is gone. The pride is gone because you have that relationship and you know them. I was sharing just a little bit with Jose as we were getting started, how when we all formed this team, we didn't know each other. We were assigned as a group, and then it took us time when we had our first meetings to be Power Progressors to kind of get to know each other. I'm always laughing and cutting up, and Jose was too. It wasn't just me, but but yeah, I think it's really pride, fear, and relationships, definitely.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, we just had a meeting. We were laughing so much at the end. I don't know. It was so productive, but it was great, definitely to share with others. And so I talked, in the very beginning about, really meeting the other's needs and making sure that both people's needs are met within the relationship is a very important thing. And so, Paul, I would like for you to share a little bit more about how we can develop those win-win relationships where both people are winning in the situation, and not just you as the business are winning or they're winning, but both sides are winning from the relationship.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'd take it back a step, because I always think about when you talk about win-win, normally win-win is about negotiation. So when we negotiate, we will try and get win-win for both parties. We might need to compromise and then come to an agreement. But when it comes to relationships, I think that you have the power in your hands to make people feel important. And if you make the other person feel important, when you do that, that is how you will build a very, very strong relationship. And as I mentioned before, obviously, if you demonstrate that you care and you're committed and that you can be trusted as well, but actually by really demonstrating that and showing that you actually think they're an important person and you're genuine with it, that's the way to build a relationship.
Awesome. And the last question I'm going to ask, and then we're going to open it up. I see a few questions in the chat that you can feel free to join in and share some of the tools that you use to build powerful relationships. But Jose, I wanted to ask with you as far as developing that global communication, and actually there's many different languages that you can learn to speak. How do you choose and how do you know what is the best language to learn or for you to start with?
Well, I would ask myself as a business owner the question of, what am I selling? What's my product? Because now it's a time to think about expansion. Like I was saying earlier on, if you're a speaker, where else can you do this? In what other locations or in what other platforms can you do it? Can you do it in Spanish? Can you do it in French? Can you do it in different languages? Or where are you selling your products? If you are selling a physical product, where else can you send it to? Now, since the global platform is everywhere, and then focus on the areas that you think would be more beneficial. Let's say if you want to sell your products in Mexico, for instance, learn Spanish. If you want to sell it to a different area or other country, China, for instance, I have friends who have communication and sell products and buy products from China. They are learning how to communicate at least the basic communication skills. So I would say, think about your product and envision where else can you sell your product and focus on those areas or those countries or those languages.
That's awesome. Yes, I know my husband is fluent in French and has a lot of communication with French-speaking cultures. And definitely, you have to think about what is going to be the most beneficial for you in your area too is really important. So thank you for sharing that. I know that Susan posed a question to the group as far as what other tools are you using to build powerful relationships? I know, Bobby, you said you were trying to unmute earlier. If you wanted to still join in and share some feedback, feel free to do so, or anyone else, if you want to share any feedback on things you're doing to build powerful relationships, you can unmute yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on. I do apologize earlier. I was trying to unmute. I was kind of shocked that my name was called. But everyone did an awesome job. But the way that I try to build positive relationships is to just be pleasant with my customers or with people that are around me, showing kindness, even when it's not shown to you. That's the way to build that relationship with, others out there, just being friendly and showing kindness. But, thank you all. Great information, great takeaways. So awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And Bobby, real quickly, what business do you have, or what do you client?
I am a school teacher, and then I also on my own online shop, Bobby Look Boutique. So we launched in about April of this year. So awesome stuff.
Awesome. You can share your link in the chat if you like to. We're all about networking.
Okay.
All righty.
Thank you.
So anyone else want to share anything they do to build powerful relationships?
I think it's just following up, following up quickly, as you said, but also responding. A lot of times now in social media age, someone may comment on a post, and when I see there's no response back, not a thank you, not a like, it's almost kind of rude now, because it's like if we were passing in the street and I said hello, or I said, oh, that's nice, or I like that, and you kept on going, that to me is what a non-response is like. And so I just try to make sure that I respond to each message if I can, time permits, or thank you all, whoever, commented, because that means a lot. And even like I notice certain celebrities that will do that. And like, how much more human does that make them, as opposed to the one that's like, they just take all the comments and they put nothing back out there. It's just like common courtesy. So that's my thing on that.
That is very true, and it does make you more personable. And I know I try to reply back, or at least or at least do something to show that I acknowledge your response, and I appreciate it. Susan, there was one thing you shared as far as following up that kind of piggybacks on what Chantel was just saying. But is there a point where is too much outreach, where you follow up, or you do too much? Is there a line that you shouldn't cross, or how do you know what's enough or what may be too much? Because sometimes we have been bombarded with people like they email, and it's like, okay, that's a bit much. So how do we know how not to cross the line?
I think there's points in reading people. If you have done a sufficient diligence and tried multiple medias to reach, and they have not responded, not liked, not even picked up the phone and told you to go away. Sometimes I think that's, a good outreach is good, but then it's like you have to determine a point where you say, okay, I've tried and they're not responding, so I'll move on to someone else. And don't take that as a personal problem or an issue. It may be they're just not ready for you right now. They don't need your service. They've chosen somebody else and they're not going to tell you. Some of those things sometimes I think are harder on our end at that point to say that the margins of it. And if you do happen to have a phone encounter and they're giving you feedback, listen to the feedback and see where you need to make adjustments.
That's very true. Just a real quick personal, I guess, testimony I share from that. So I was have two clients this year that I had talked with about doing one was transitioning. She provides like disability services and wanted to do training for other companies and organizations. We had talked about it. She was referred to me through another client. And so knew she wanted to do it, but it just wasn't, I guess the timing was off, and this was like last year. And then out of the blue this year in May, I didn't like keep pushing it or keep, asking her. She called me and was like, I'm ready. Start. So I was like, okay, let's go. And another client, just kind of adopted her as like a mentee, and she was working on a book, and I have written 3 books, and just was helping her through that, and just saying, you should really share your story, and just encouraging her for like the last 2 years. And this year she launched her book, and I worked with her to develop, her book talk and things like that. And so, you never know, like don't take it, like you said, don't take it personally. It might be a timing thing that, you don't want to overdo it, but every now and then, you give them an email or post, let them know you're still there, but you don't have to force it and push it and email them every week, and just once every now and then you might say hello, or just say, or a season you might send out holiday cards, or just little things, but not being overly bearing. But you never know, that could be a future potential client when the timing is right. So,
Wendy has something to say.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's great what everyone has shared. I just want to chime in with something that goes kind of along with that. I find for me, in relationship building and connecting with people and having a great communication, is when I am adaptable, like big time.
Mm-hmm.
So I can sense, they're in a good mood or a bad mood, or they have a lot of time or a little bit of time, or their personality type, their behavior style, their communication style. They're a get to the point person, or they're a real socializer, real chatty person. And from one conversation to another, I can adapt once I sense that to fit whatever it is that works best for them. They want to be chatty, I'll be chatty. They want to get off the phone fast, I get off the phone fast. So being adaptable and matching them where they are.
That's awesome. That's true. That's very true, especially during 2020. If anything else, we have learned to adapt and do business differently this year than we ever have before. I know, we're on Zoom now. I've done Zoom more than every ever in life, though I did use it earlier. So definitely, Jose, would you like to share a little bit more?
Yeah, I just wanted to answer a little bit the question, what tools we use to create powerful relationships. And I wanted to say that one of the tools might not be a tool, but being who you really are, being unique or being genuine. I like to adapt as well. I work with different kinds of people, different groups, and I like to be adaptable and flexible. But at the same time, there is a core that is not going to change, like my friendliness and my personality. Not trying too hard to fit into a group, because people can see through that. Or even you will not perform at your best because you are not being who you really are. You are kind of faking it, which people can see it sometimes, saying that you are not being genuine. So I would say that being genuine and honest with other people, and I think that's the best policy, because even if you don't fit the perfect image that is now on social media, people actually go back and talk to you and say, you know what, I like you because you are not trying to be that perfect, on Instagram, that you're always shiny and you're always fantastic. That's not who we really are. And when people can see you that you are just like them, just someone just like them, they will definitely connect and relate more to it, to you in general.
Sorry, Paul. Were you about to share something?
No, all I was going to say is, especially after your last video that you posted, Jose. Anybody who doesn't know, there was a little bit that he needed to edit. It stayed on. So I won't repeat it, but there we go.
And I think that is a great place to end on. Stay true to who you are and not try to seek perfection, because that's impossible, but to continue to reach out to people. And even in our social media, trying to make everything perfect all the time and trying to be like this perfect person is impossible. And so, stay true to who you are. Definitely adapt and change and relate to others and where they are. But definitely in building relationships, they want to have relationships with the real you. and who you really are. So definitely say so. I am just really been impressed by everything everyone has shared today, and definitely thank you for all of those who joined us today. Continue to share with others and let them know. We will have another one. We'll just do it once a month, and if you would like to learn more or know more, or contact us about future topics that you would like to see us have, definitely respond to the email and let us know. And we'd love to know your feedback, or if you, just want more information, mentorship, or have questions about what we talked about today, definitely let us know. So thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to having you next time on the next Power Progressors event and webinar.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Yes, thanks.
Bye-bye.